Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amjad Moshe Omala, and I'm going to be explaining to you how the fitna of women is causing you to continuously masturbate to porn, and how Shaytan uses the fitna of women to make you continuously masturbate to porn. In case you don't know what a fitna is, a fitna means any trial or tribulation. It means something difficult that somebody or people go through. And quick disclaimer here, this video is not an attack on women. It's not here to make women look bad or to make women look evil. Just because something is a trial or fitna, in this case it is women, that does not mean that women are evil. Not everything that's a trial is evil. And if you're a weak, sensitive individual who continuously sims for women and who thinks that women are just these cute, angelic beings that are just completely pure and can do no wrong, then you might as well click off this video. This video is not for you. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into this video. Women are by far the greatest fitna for men. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, says, I leave behind you no greater fitna than the fitna of women. And we still see this in the modern day, with the way women constantly accuse men of things and people just believe her because probably she's too beautiful, or because she's a woman and she's seen as weak and vulnerable, so people instantly believe her. We constantly buy into women's stories when there's two sides of the stories. When it's a man versus a woman, we mainly go on the woman's side because, like I said before, she's more vulnerable, she's considered the weaker species, she's considered the weaker sex. The way men go out of their way to simp for women, the things that men do just to get women. We see this in clubs, for example. People constantly wanting to buy women's drinks just to get their attentions and just to... We see how easy people fall into the lies of women just because women cry and just because women have other manipulation tactics. We see this in celebrity scandals when there might have been a consensual sexual act done between two celebrities, of course haram, but it might have been consensual, but the women just say that, oh no, he forced me into this, he raped me, he sexually assaulted me, and then people just believe her. Hashtag believe all women sort of thing, which within itself is actually a fitna. We see this when women do things such as alienating their children from their fathers, and nobody really does anything about it. It just happens, it's just there, but nobody actually cares. Nobody actually does anything about the fact that women who have fell out with the father of the child for whatever reasons, maybe it might be due to divorce, maybe the husband did polygyny, or whatever it might have been, or maybe the woman did infidelity, but the woman and the husband, they split up, and the woman doesn't give the husband access to the kids, and nobody does anything about it. People just believe all women. They just let it happen because they think, oh yeah, it must be because the husband is a bad person or something like that. These are just some of the ways that women are fitna today, but in your case, it is your addiction to pornography. What is at the forefront of your addiction to pornography? It is women. It is women who put themselves out there in order to tempt you to masturbate to them. They do this for their own, selfish reasons, to get attention, to get views, to get money, which is basically pornography or OnlyFans. They do this to get views and attention, which is when they're IG models, and even for money as well, when they link you to their OnlyFans account. They do this to get attention when they dance, where they do TikTok dances, where they shake their ass on TikTok to get attention and to get views. This is how women are a fitna for you. In fact, women are even a fitna for each other. The way they cause drama, the way they gossip about each other. Women are a fitna for each other as well. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, also says, the world is sweet and green. Verily, Allah will make you successors in it to see how you behave. Prophet Muhammad also says, beware of the world and beware of the women. Verily, the first trial of Bani Israel was the women. A scholar by the name of Ibn Hajar Asqalani says, the phrasing beware of the world applies to the women. That is, so here even Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, is telling you to watch out for the fitna of women. He is telling you to watch out for the way that women tempt you to do evil, and the way that Shaytan uses women to tempt you in order to do evil. Speaking of Shaytan using women to tempt you to do evil, even the Salaf themselves say that. Even the Salafs used to say that Shaytan uses every single door in order to get you to fail. But if all else fails for Shaytan, He uses women in order to get you to fail. Why? Because women are such a fitna for men. The reason why women are such a fitna for men is because of how attracted men are to women. Men literally like everything about women. The way they sound, the way they speak, the way they look. It gets to the point that men even do unwise decisions. Men even make decisions that are not intelligent because of their lust for women, because of their attraction and because of their affection for women. How many times have you seen men falter? How many times have you seen intelligent men falter and do the stupidest and craziest things because of the fitna of women? In your case, it is porn addiction. You're literally wasting your time, spending hours and hours on end because of you watching pornography, because of your lust for women, because of how attracted and because of how lustful you are towards women. Tell me, if women did not exist, you really would not be wasting your time masturbating to porn. Let's say pornography was just wiped off the face of this planet. Let's say there was no OnlyFans or no IG models or no women on YouTube twerking or women on TikTok twerking. You really would not be wasting your time, wasting your precious time, wasting hours and hours on end, just watching these women, just being absorbed by these women. And you would also not be as weak either, because you would actually be putting that time into doing something productive, into doing something that will help you achieve something of significance. You'll be doing things that will actually make Allah proud of you. But due to the fitna of women, you actually falter. On the topic of Shaitan using every avenue in order to get you to fail, but if he fails that avenue, he uses women. Let me give you an example. You might have heard of this story before, but if you haven't heard of this story before, I'm going to narrate it to you. It is a story of how a pizza man committed zina with a woman, and that just ruined his life, basically. So there was a story of this man. He was actually struggling. He had a family, and he was struggling in life. He was struggling to get jobs. But there were haram jobs which were available for him. There were jobs that dealt with riba and that dealt with other haram activities. But he declined all of those. And he was even struggling to provide for his family. But he said, no, I am not going to go for these haram kind of jobs. But then a halal job presented to him, which was being a pizza man of a halal pizza shop. That job presented itself to him, and he said yes. This was a halal avenue for him. So he went to get to that job. And the thing is, Shaitan was trying to get this man to fail. The man was struggling. He didn't have enough to provide for his family. But there were haram jobs. An opportunity in order to do haram presented itself to him. Shaitan was saying to him, okay, you're struggling, look at you, you're struggling. Your family is not making it in life. You're not really providing for yourself. You're kind of poor. Why don't you try to go for these haram kind of jobs? They're the only ones that you can do. But the man was staying firm upon Islam. He was saying, no, I will not go to do haram. I will not fail. I will not do things that will make Allah angry at me. And I will not do things that will drag me to hell. So then Allah gave him a halal job, which was being a pizza man at this pizza shop. He was basically going around and delivering pizza to various people. So Shaitan failed in this avenue. Then one day, Shaitan comes and uses women, and uses a woman in order to get this man to fail. What happens to this man was he's delivering pizza to he's going to every doorstep and delivering pizza to each respective customer. Then he goes to this one door, and he opens the door, and there's a nude woman there. Can you imagine being in this scenario? Can you imagine being in this scenario? Imagine you're just doing the normal deliveries, you're delivering newspapers or something. You open the door and then there's a nude woman there. Imagine yourself in this scenario. This is a scenario that this man was faced with. So this woman says to this man, I don't have any money with me right now, but I can pay you in other ways. She basically offers intimacy to him. She offers sex to him. And the man drops a pizza. He goes in this woman's house. And then he goes and commits zina with her. He has sex with this woman. Which is a major sin in Islam. This within itself is how this man faltered. But believe you me, it gets even worse from here. After he's done with this woman, after he has sex with this woman, He goes outside, he leaves, and he carries on with his business, and he obviously commits this sin. What this man didn't know is that this woman was actually recording the whole incident. She recorded him having sex with her. And the woman passes the information on to throughout the whole community, and she just passes the information on to everyone. Passes it on onto social media and throughout the rest of the ummah, throughout the rest of the Muslim community. And this man loses completely everything. His wife divorces him, she takes the kids from him, she takes the house from him as well. And he gets fired from his job as a pizza man. And from here on out, his life is completely ruined. He's back to square one. He's even worse than he was at the start of the story. This man's life is completely ruined, and Shaytan has ruined this man's life. This is an example of how Shaytan uses the fitna of women in order to get people to fail. In your case, it is your pornography addiction. Shaytan makes you waste your time watching pornography. He makes you waste your life away masturbating to pornography, masturbating to women, when you could be spending that time doing things that are more productive. You could be spending that time memorizing an ayah out of the Quran, reading more Quran, learning more about Islam, and actually learning about what it is that you want to do in life, in your life. He wastes your time masturbating to women and also sinning while masturbating to women. Until you get to the point where you actually die, and then you think, I wasted my time masturbating to women. I wasted my time with all of these, just masturbating to porn, and I didn't do anything of significance. Until you get to the point where you've actually just failed because you've done nothing of significance. You haven't done enough good deeds to present to Allah. This is the trick that Shaytan is employing on you right now. Shaytan is making you fail here. Shaytan is using women in order to get you to fail your objection and your purpose in life. He's making you a worse believer in Allah. He's making you a worse servant of Allah because of your lust for women. He uses women in order to make you a worse servant of Allah. There's a story of how Shaytan nearly destroyed this monk. There was this monk who used to worship Allah for 70 years. Imagine 70 years straight just worshipping Allah. Then one day he sees an attractive woman. He sees a woman and he goes and commits zina with her for 7 days. He's in this haram relationship with this woman for 7 days. And the thing is that those 7 days actually ruined all those 70 years of worship. Those 7 days that he committed zina with this woman, that he had this haram relation with this woman, cancelled out the 7 years, cancelled out the 70 years of worship that he did for Allah. Can you imagine that? The only saving grace for this man is that one day he saw a beggar, he saw a poor man, and all this monk had left was a loaf of bread. And he decides to give this loaf of bread to this beggar, to this poor man. And on the day of judgment, that's all he had to present to Allah. When he gets resurrected on the day of judgment, that is what will be presented to Allah. It will be presented that those seven days that he committed zina with her cancelled out the 70 years of worship that he did for Allah. Again, this also shows you the magnitude of zina. That just 7 days of zina can cancel out the 70 years of worship that you do for Allah. This man's only saving grace was one time he gave a loaf of bread to a poor man, to a beggar. And because of this deed, because of this only good deed that he did, he was permitted to go into Jannah. Again, this shows you how much of a problem you falling into the temptation of women can actually be. There's a scholar by the name of Hassan ibn Salih. He narrates that Shaytan says, and Shaytan didn't actually say this, but this is a rather accurate interpretation of what Shaytan actually says, of what Shaytan is actually thinking, of what Shaytan is actually feeling. He narrates that Shaytan says to women, "You are half my army, my arrows, my hidden agenda, my messengers in all affairs." And to make this crystal clear, this applies to evil women. This applies to women who are actually out there to tempt men. It is not women themselves, it's not women by nature that want to tempt men. Women are not inherently evil. But this narration shows that Shaitan's greatest weapon, greatest ace in the card, is actually the women, is actually your weakness for women and using women in order to tempt you to do evil. Women can even distract intelligent men. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, one time he said to a group of women, I have not seen anyone be able to take away the intelligence or resolve of an intelligent man other than you. That is what Prophet Muhammad said to a group of women one time. And of course, this does not mean that women have the supernatural ability to rob a man's intelligence. They don't have the supernatural ability to just make smart men stupid. No. But it's because of how attracted men are to women that women somewhat have this kind of ability. Because men are so lustful and so attracted and so affectionate towards women, is how they become less intelligent when they're around women. Men are attracted to the way women speak, the way they sound, their femininity, their beauty, their body language, their soft voice. These are the kind of things that impair a man's intelligence. It's even worse when women actually go out of their way to express their sort of femininity and attraction. That makes men's judgments even worse. That makes things even worse for men. It's already hard enough when that men are so attracted and so enticed by women. But when women actually go out of their way to make an intelligent man less intelligent, that is what makes it even worse for men. In the modern day, you actually see this with how there are men who are very wealthy and they subscribe to OnlyFans. There are men who are very wealthy and they buy prostitutes. And make no mistake, it actually does require a high level of intelligence in order for you to start a business, in order for you to garner wealth. Make no mistake, it actually does require a lot of intelligence and a lot of resolve. But what is the thing that can take away that intelligence? It is actually women. Because like I explained, how they are so attracted to women. Even in your instance, you could be somebody who worships Allah. You could be somebody who does his 5 daily prayers. He fasts every Monday and Thursday. He reads Quran. He's in the front row seats, but you watch pornography. But you're addicted to pornography. And let me tell you this, being a worshipper of Allah is actually intelligent. It is actually a smart decision for you to go out of your way to worship Allah, for you to go out of your way to figure out things to do in order to become a better Muslim, in order to worship Allah to his fullest. But what takes away that resolve? What takes away that intelligence? Your lust for women, your attraction for women. And these porn actors and these women who twerk on TikTok, they take away that intelligence as well. Because of their femininity, because make no mistake, women who are Instagram models, women who are porn stars, women who are dancing on TikTok, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what to do in order to attract men. The way they position their bodies, the clothing, the clothing that they wear, or the lack of clothing they wear. The positions that they get themselves into, they have practice for this. They know exactly what to do in order to make men watch them, in order to tempt men, in order to get what it is that they want from men. Those women who are on ASMRs as well, they know exactly what they're doing when they put on these soft feminine voices. When they position the cameras cameras that make them look more sexual, they do these things. They know exactly what they are doing. Make no mistake, they are not idiots. They are not fools. They know exactly what to do. This is why it's utmost important that you are aware of women. Make sure that you beware of the women, because women can actually cause you to fail. Right now, women are causing you to fail. Your attraction to women, your lust for women is what is causing you to falter. It's what is causing you to fail. I've explained in other videos how your lust for women can actually help you. But in this instance, it can cause you to falter. It can cause you to fail as well. Right now, it is causing you to fail because every single time you see an attractive woman, on purpose, every single time you go out of your way to watch pornography, it is causing you to fail as a Muslim man. You're getting closer and closer and closer towards Jahannam, towards hell. You're accumulating more and more sins. You're accumulating more and more evil deeds. that will bring you closer towards hellfire. That will help Shaytan in his mission in order to get as many human beings as possible to hell. That will help Shaytan's mission in order to drag you into hell with him. Shaytan uses women in order to get you to that point. That is Shaytan's ace in the hole. All right, what is the solution here? How do you stop yourself from faltering due to the temptation of women? The first solution, like I always say, is to first purify yourself so that you're not as tempted towards women. Again, the reason why it's so easy for you to fall into the lust of women, why it's so easy for you to fall into this addiction, is because your heart is impure. Your heart is still enticed by pornography. It's still enticed by watching women shaking their ass on TikTok and by looking at IG models. All these things are, of course, a sin for you to do. So first, purify your heart by doing more good deeds. Purify your heart by doing your daily dhikr of Allah, like I always mention. Do you do things by saying Astaghfirullah 100 times a day, asking Allah for forgiveness 100 times a day? Subhanallah. You say Subhanallah 100 times a day. This gets you closer to Allah. This purifies your heart as well. And it's also a good deed. The more good deeds you do, the more purer your heart is and the closer you are to Allah as well. After every single prayer, after Fajr, after Dhuhr, after Asr, after Maghrib, after Isha, say Subhanallah 33 times, Alhamdulillah 33 times, and Allahu Akbar 33 times. Subhanallah meaning glory be to Allah, Alhamdulillah meaning praise be to Allah, and Allahu Akbar meaning Allah is the greatest. You recite all of these things after every single prayer. This works to purify your heart. This works to get all the impurities out of your heart. I also recommend that you fast. Fasting also slightly decreases your desire in women. It slightly decreases the lust that you have towards women. The reason why Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, actually recommended that you would fast, because it decreases your desire and it decreases the lust that you have for women. The way it works is, and there's some scientific backing towards this as well, because when you're fasting, you're not eating and you're not drinking either. And the reason why you eat and drink is in order for you to survive, because food and water gives you energy. It keeps you going. It keeps you alive, and it gives you enough energy in order for you to survive. But having lust and having desires for women actually costs energy as well. But your body prioritizes keeping you alive more than it does having lust for women. So when you fast, what happens is your body takes the energy that it puts into having lust and having sexual desires for women, and it puts it into keeping you alive. It puts that into survival as well. And fasting is a good deed as well. The way good deeds work is, the more and more good deeds you do, the more it purifies your heart, the more it removes the impurities that you have in your heart. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a cup of impure water. Imagine you have a cup of water and there's water that is filled with ink and dirt and other impurities. And then you have an even bigger cup of just fresh, clean water. And then you decide to pour that fresh, clean water into the cup of impure water. You pour it in, and what will happen? The impurities will get out of that water, of that impure cup of water. The impurities will come out. They'll overflow the cup, and they will pour out. They will start pouring out until the purity will completely replace the impurities that are in that cup. That is how good deeds work. The cup represents your heart. The impure water represents the state of your heart. Your heart is impure, very much like the water that is filled with ink and dirt and other impurities. And the pure cup represents the good deeds. And when you pour the good deeds into your heart, slowly but surely it will remove all the impurities that are in your heart until you're left with just a pure heart. Your heart is just completely pure now. Very much like that cup is just left with pure water. Your heart will be left pure. Another solution is for you to get rid of everything that tempts you into this sin. Get rid of all the things that will cause you to fall into this sin. All the IG models that you follow, unfollow all of them. Delete all the search history that you have, all the search history of pornography that you have done. Delete all of it. I'm subscribed to all the porn websites that you're subscribed to. Unsubscribe to all the OnlyFans models. Delete everything. Delete Instagram. Delete OnlyFans. Delete everything. Do not put yourself in a position where you can fall into this kind of sin. The next solution is for you to realize that you're far above this. You're far above being tempted by women. Whenever you see a flash of an attractive woman, of a woman trying to tempt herself, whether it's an IG model or whether it's an attractive woman on YouTube, realize that you're far superior to what they call you towards. Realize that they are not worthy of your attention. Realize that women like this are not worthy of your attention. They are not worthy of you looking at them. That is what you need to see yourself as. You need to tell yourself that what I actually deserve is actual marriage with women. You need to tell yourself that I am worthy of marriage. I'm worthy of real intimacy with women. This will give you a new sense of confidence about yourself. Whenever you see such a thing, you're just put off by it. You're saying, I don't need to watch this. I'm far above this. I'm better than this. I'm better than what these women call me towards. That is how you beat the temptation of women. You also beat the temptation by relying on Allah. Constantly make dua to Allah. Constantly ask Allah to make you far stronger than this temptation. The other thing is, don't give these evil women what they want. These women who are going out of their way to tempt you in order to do evil. The women that are trying to make you subscribe to OnlyFans. The women that are trying to make you watch pornography. Those ASMR women. Okay, these women are ASMR who know the perfect voice to put on in order to tempt you. Do not give these women what they want. Think about it. Look at it this way. Imagine we lived in a world where men just stopped simping for these women, where men stopped giving these women attention, where men do not go in the comment section and say, "Oh my goodness, you're so sexy. Oh wow, you give me such a great erection. Oh my goodness, you're much better than my wife," or whatever. All these kind of weird things that men, all these weird kind of comments, all these weird kind of messages that men send to these women. Imagine if all men just stopped doing all of that. Imagine if all men just stopped giving women this kind of attention. Women would also stop doing all these things, because what is the point? They're going to be thinking, men are not going to give me what they want. They're not going to give me attention or money or anything that I want to give them, because they just think that they're above all these things. They just don't want me when I'm doing these things. These kind of women are going to fix up as well. Imagine if men just stopped watching pornography. What would be the point of pornography even? Imagine if men stopped looking at IG models. Imagine if women stopped getting views from men of IG models. Women would literally just stop, because women are not getting attention. Because make no mistake, attention is currency in the women's world. The thing that women love the most is actually attention, and the things that they can get out of men. But if they're not getting that from men, they will actually fix up. They will actually stop. That is a great way to deal with women. It is to stop giving them attention, to stop giving them exactly what they want. They will actually fix up. They will actually just stop doing all of these things. And that is the end of the video. Assalamu alaikum and take care.